back again, everybody, to Pump the Brakes. We are in the Jekyll Fab garage today, so this is the big workshop. Today is kind of a different day. I ordered a whole bunch of stuff from TMR. They hooked me up. We've got the best of the best quality parts sitting here ready to show you and explain to you why I chose these products over the way that I've kind of gone in the past. So we have a 14-bolt diff cover, which is made in-house at TMR, I believe. It is plate steel, and I'm going to be using it for the Meritor 14-bolt hybrid axles that I've built for for Maximus. We've got tie rod ends. I haven't even seen these things yet. I've got upper links. I've cheated, I've looked, and I've got lower links, and I only peeked because I really wanted to see.
Oh my God!
This is the best shit you can buy, so I'm excited about that. I've already got the rear uppers installed. They look badass. They're everything I hoped they would be, and honestly, they're higher quality than I had expected, so they kind of knocked it out of the park. So let's open up some stuff, and I'll tell you why I went this way. First thing I'm going to open up, this is the TMR plate steel 14-bolt diff cover. They have the 15-bolt kit, and then they have the 14-bolt cover. This is just a straight-up 14-bolt cover. I was a little reluctant to go and shave the bottom of my diff off because the kind of racing that we do in Maximus is pretty friggin' brutal. And I want as much meat down there as possible. I know ground clearance is important, but I think I'm going to choose strength over ground clearance. I don't know if this is stronger than the 15-bolt kit from TMR. I don't want to say anything bad about it, but this just felt right for me. So we are just going to install the diff cover. All the bolts, I'll explain those in a second. Boom. Has a fill plug where they normally wouldn't because the 14-bolt has a drain plug and a fill plug in the factory places, but they gave you the option of another one here. The bolts. So the 14-bolt has been GM's 1-ton diff. I think it's actually been rated as 1.25 ton in the military applications for the US military, obviously, but it has obviously 14 bolts in the diff cover. That's how they measure it, or how they label it. It has a 10.5-inch ring gear, but the reason I love with this thing is it has side adjusters to set up the carrier, and it has 3 pinion bearings. So very little to no deflection on the pinion. So they take abuse. They just legitimately take abuse.
Who does number 2 work for?
But because GM has used it for so long, I think they're still using it today. It crossed over the line between imperial bolts and metric bolts. So TMR has you covered. They have 14 of each. So this will work on all of the 14 bolts. This is a 14-bolt diff cover that I already unpackaged. Like I said, I couldn't wait. And this is the hybrid axle that I came up with. So these are inner Cs that I fabricated. They will fit the massive Meritor hubs and knuckles. But because I used the stock axle tubes on the 14-bolt, these are only 1/4-inch wall. They're super pinner. So I had to put beefy truss on it, but I'm also worried about hitting something head on and peeling a wheel backwards. And with no backbone on it, I figured that was not strong enough. So that's where the backbone comes in. This is gonna end up getting welded on here. And as you can see, I use TMR for these also, for the cage connectors, and this is going to get welded directly to the diff cover, and this whole section will be removable to access the carrier. This will get braced there and there, but this ties the backbone into the diff cover, which is the reason why I wanted the strongest diff cover I could buy. So that's the diff cover, but nobody gives a shit about diff covers, so let's talk about aluminum links. These are the uppers. So the uppers are 70-75. I think they call them T6. I don't know what the fuck that means. Solid aluminum. They weigh almost nothing. These are legit light. And from what I've been told by people that are smarter than me, these are stronger than if we went with like a 1/4 wall steel with a bung. Also, no weld to fail. I'm not a welder. I can weld, but I'm definitely not a professional. Are you? So this is the better way to go. They are threaded left hand, right hand, but they will do anything you want to do. They machine the flats into them. They will make them any length. They will make them right and right. They'll put any thread in the end. They've got you covered. These things are awesome and they look really, really good. Obviously, these things are legit artwork. They're beautiful, but I was thinking about powder coating them. And all the guys around the shop here, we have mixed reviews, whether these should be colored, whether I should clear coat them, or whether I should just leave them alone. Honestly, the bare aluminum makes your hands turn black. So they're not gonna look this pretty forever if I don't protect them in some way. So I could put like a Cerakote clear on them, which is exactly what it's designed for. Or do I make them like the blue or the orange, like Maximus is going? Let me know in the comments what you guys think, because I actually value you guys' opinion, and I wanna see these look as good as possible. So that's the lowers, they're 2-inch. These are the, oh no, sorry, those were the uppers, they're 2-inch. Those aren't gonna really be taking hits. So these are the upper links, they're 2-inch outside diameter. They're not going to be taking the abuse that the lowers take. They need to have a lot of tensile strength for compression and stretching, like the 4-link's gonna see, but they are not gonna be seeing the ground. They're not gonna get hit, they're not gonna get bumped, hopefully. I really don't know what's gonna happen. But they're not gonna see the abuse that the lowers are gonna take. So in the back, I don't have aluminum lower links. I have these big ass trailing arms. These are from Open Air, I think was the name of the company. So they sold them as like a U-weld them kit. I TIG welded them all together. They called them a crew cab pre-runner arm. So they're 55 inches from end to end, but they don't have the huge advantage. They're 6 inches shorter back here than like a true trophy truck arm would be. And so that takes down travel. I'm only gonna get like 24 inches of rear wheel travel. And they call them a crew cab because they have a lot of space up front. So if you did have a crew cab vehicle, I don't have a crew cab vehicle. Maximus is just fun for two. No use for aluminum lower links. TMR does sell a trailing arm kit. It just, I chose to go this way. It might have been the wrong decision, but this is the way I went with this one. I already installed the uppers. These are the exact same as the front, just a different length, but those are what the upper links look like. Fucking gorgeous. So these are the rear, nope, these are the front lower links. Sorry guys, it's hot as ball sack right now and I'm doing my best to keep it together. So I've already peeked because I just wanted to see how beefy they were. I cheated. There you go. These things aren't as light, but they're light compared to steel. Get out of here, you. They are basically the same thing I have going on with the uppers, just bigger. Those are fucking chunky.
This fat bitch know about all the new snacks before they even hit the street. All the bootleg snacks.
Look at those fucking things. So they're still 1 1/4 thread, left hand, right hand thread, and they machine these beautiful flats. They even like clearance past the thread. So the threads don't leave like a stress riser in there. They actually clearance out the outside diameter a full 1 1/4 past the threads with like an end mill or something. I don't know how they do it, but they do a fucking wicked job of these things. These are so much better than I had anticipated them being. I'm fucking pumped on these things. But that's a lower. Look at the beef in that thing. And I mean, it's still not that heavy. So that's my front upper, that's my front lower. I have been building off-road vehicles long enough that we used to have to scrounge junkyards. We used to have to use shit material. We used to have to use whatever was available, like tractor links and all sorts of garbage. And now TMR makes this so easy that you can literally just go on their website and you just punch in what you want and you can end up with like a freaking custom link like this. When I started building 4x4s, this kind of shit was only available to like multi-million-dollar race teams. And now it's just available for losers like me. This is freaking fantastic. This is why off-roading has become so fucking cool. I love this shit. And that is a strong fucking link. These are the last ones. This is the biggest box because these are my tie rods. And was it Tim we were dealing with there? Or was it Mike? It was Tim, right? So Tim Rogers from TMR, he questioned whether my numbers were right for my tie rods because typically you go with like a double-ended ram and then short little tie rods on each end and that's your steering. And I kind of opted out of that this time because I found that if I use 2 single-ended rams in like a mirror image, they still remain balanced because the one balances out the other. So it works like a double-ended, but it is, I can get the steering force that I want easier and I end up with a tie rod tying them together without any risk of any binding. So these are the tie rods. I haven't even cheated on these ones yet, so I haven't even seen them. These are the smallest ones. So that's why I was the least excited.
It's not about the size of the boat, but the motion of the ocean.
But we can open them up now. Does it do anything for you?
Yes, you've said that many times now.
Yes, and that's because it's so true.
What is up, everybody? It is another day. I didn't just randomly change my clothes for no reason. Adrian got me back here to try to finish all this up because the audio screwed up last time and we got a whole bunch of mumbles. What do we need to cover?
Why you are choosing to go aluminum links on Maximus instead of the steel links you're running on Hyde.
Okay, aluminum versus steel links. Aluminum is lighter, obviously. When you are that much lighter, you get to go solid. So that's not a tube, that is solid aluminum. This aluminum at least, 7075, it's higher elasticity, so it'll deflect further and still spring back to straight than a steel will. It doesn't have the weld-in bung, so that saves you a potential failure point. So those are my three reasons. Lighter, no failure point, more elastic. That's my reasons. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Are those bad reasons? Are they obvious reasons? I mean, kind of the whole industry is going to aluminum now, so I think that's obviously the choice to make. You can see I've already installed the upper links. These are the 2-inch upper links I got from TMR Customs. They have a left-hand thread and a right-hand thread, so it's as easy as just rotating it to set my alignment, to adjust the axle. That's all there really is to say. That's it, everybody, for this episode of Pump the Brakes. I'd like to give another shout out to TMR Customs. They just fucking deliver the best quality shit you can ask for, no questions. It's just so nice. I would like you guys to like this video because I've got trophy truck shocks on a bouncer. Share the video because it's the only set of 14-bolt Meritor steer axles on earth. And subscribe to my channel because this is a monster truck sway bar on a bouncer. And frankly, this is just going to be one of the coolest fucking things it is. Tell everybody about the mega bouncer with a diesel engine up in Canada running 9-ton axles. So ring the bell, check back in. There's going to be more updates on Maximus. We're going to fuck around with some vehicles on 2 wheels right away here, but we are making progress on Maximus, and there's going to be more videos, and before you know it, we're going to be racing this thing.